A young woman walked into Manhattan's most exclusive luxury boutique wearing jeans and a simple t-shirt. The store owner took one look at her and said, "I'm sorry, but I don't think you can afford anything here. Perhaps try the mall." What that store owner didn't know, the woman she just insulted was Elena Thornwood, heiress to a $4.7 billion luxury fashion empire. And the building she was standing in, Elena's family owned it. In the next 20 minutes, that store owner went from smirking to crying. Because Elena didn't just complain. She did something that destroyed that woman's entire career and taught her a lesson about judging people by their appearance. This story will show you why arrogance and assumptions can cost you everything. Before we dive into this incredible story of justice and karma, hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss more stories where people get exactly what they deserve. Drop a comment telling us where you're watching from. Now let's see what happened when this store owner made the worst mistake of her life. Elena Thornwood was 28 years old. She was the only daughter of Richard and Victoria Thornwood, founders of Thornwood Luxury Group, one of the world's largest luxury fashion conglomerates. The company owned department stores, boutiques, and commercial real estate worth billions across 5 continents. But Elena wasn't raised to be a spoiled rich girl. Her parents believed in hard work and humility. From age 16, Elena worked summers in her family's stores, not as the boss's daughter, but as a regular employee. She cleaned fitting rooms. She organized inventory. She learned the business from the ground up. Now at 28, Elena was VP of store operations. She regularly visited stores unannounced to check on customer service, employee treatment, and store management. She always dressed casually during these visits because she wanted to see how staff treated regular customers, not VIPs. Elena believed that how you treat someone who can't benefit you reveals your true character. Victoria Chen was 42 years old. She had been the owner and manager of Elegance Boutique for 3 years. The boutique was located in a prime Manhattan location on Madison Avenue, in a building owned by Thornwood Luxury Group. Victoria leased the space at a discounted rate because Thornwood Luxury Group wanted to support small business owners. She was required to maintain high customer service standards and treat all visitors with respect. Those were the terms of her lease, but Victoria had let success go to her head. Her boutique catered to wealthy clients, celebrities, socialites, corporate executives. Over time, Victoria started believing that only rich-looking people deserved her time and attention. If you walked in wearing casual clothes, Victoria would ignore you or ask you to leave. She had forgotten that respect should be given to everyone, regardless of appearance. It was a Saturday afternoon in September. Elena had received 3 anonymous complaints through her company's customer service portal. All 3 complaints were about the same store, Elegance Boutique on Madison Avenue. The complaints said, "The owner was rude to me because I was wearing workout clothes. She looked at my sneakers and told me I was in the wrong store. She made me feel poor and unwelcome." Elena decided to visit unannounced. She put on her favorite jeans, a plain white t-shirt, and sneakers. She tied her hair in a simple ponytail and wore no jewelry except a small watch. She looked like any regular young woman shopping in the city. She had no idea she was about to have the most satisfying confrontation of her career. Elena walked into Elegance Boutique at 2 p.m. The store was beautiful, marble floors, crystal chandeliers, designer clothing displayed like art pieces. Classical music played softly in the background. 2 customers were already inside, a woman in an expensive fur coat and a man in a tailored suit. Victoria was attending to them personally, smiling and chatting warmly. Elena walked toward a rack of designer dresses. She genuinely wanted to see the merchandise quality. It was part of her evaluation. Victoria glanced at Elena and her smile disappeared. She looked at Elena's jeans, her t-shirt, her sneakers. Her expression turned cold. Victoria walked over quickly. "Excuse me," she said in a tone that wasn't polite at all. "Can I help you?" "Yes," Elena said pleasantly. "I'm interested in looking at some dresses." Victoria's eyes traveled up and down Elena's outfit again. "I see. Well, I should mention that our pieces start at $3,000. Most are significantly more. We specialize in haute couture for discerning clientele." Elena smiled. "That's fine. I'd still like to look." Victoria's lips pressed into a thin line. "May I ask what your budget is? I don't want to waste your time showing you items you can't afford." The wealthy couple nearby glanced over, sensing the tension. Elena remained calm. "I don't have a specific budget. I'm just browsing." "Browsing," Victoria repeated as if the word was suspicious. Well, we're not really a browsing establishment. We serve serious buyers. Elena decided to test just how far Victoria would go. I understand. But I'm a serious buyer. May I see that blue dress? She pointed to a stunning sapphire gown displayed prominently. Victoria didn't move. That dress is $8,500, plus it's a size 2. I don't think, she looked meaningfully at Elena, it would fit properly. Elena was a size 4, the dress would fit perfectly. But Victoria was now making assumptions about her body, too. I'd still like to try it, Elena said, her voice still polite but with an edge now. I'm sorry, but we have a policy, Victoria said quickly. We only allow try-ons for pre-approved customers. To become pre-approved, you need to make a purchase first. Elena raised her eyebrows. So I have to buy something before I can try anything on? Exactly, it prevents tire kickers from wasting our time. Victoria's tone made it clear she considered Elena a tire kicker. The wealthy woman in the fur coat spoke up. That seems like an unusual policy. Victoria spun toward her with a completely different expression, warm, apologetic. Oh, not for valued clients like yourself, Mrs. Patterson. This policy is just for walk-ins. She turned back to Elena. Look, I'm trying to be nice here, but honestly, you don't look like you shop at stores like this. There's a Zara down the street, or maybe H&M. Those stores would be more suitable for your style. Elena felt anger rising but kept her composure. My style? Yes, casual. Budget-conscious. Victoria gestured at Elena's outfit as if it were offensive. We cater to women of sophistication and means. I don't think this is the right store for you. Elena pulled out her phone. I'd like to take a photo of that dress for reference. Absolutely not, Victoria said sharply. No photographs, that's another policy. We protect our designers' work from being copied. Copied? Elena almost laughed. Yes. People come in, take pictures, then go online and buy knockoffs. I can't allow that. Elena put her phone away. Okay, no photos, but I do want to speak with the owner of this store. Victoria crossed her arms. You're speaking to her, I'm the owner. I see. Then I'd like to file a formal complaint about the customer service I've received today. Victoria actually laughed. A complaint with who? Myself. Look, I've been very patient, but I'm asking you to leave now. You're making my actual customers uncomfortable. Mr. Patterson, the man in the tailored suit, spoke up. Actually, we're not uncomfortable, but we are uncomfortable with how you're treating this young woman. Victoria's face flushed red. Sir, with all due respect, you don't understand. I deal with people like her every day. They come in, waste my time, touch expensive merchandise with their hands, and then leave without buying anything. I'm simply being efficient. People like her? Elena repeated quietly. What exactly do you mean by that? Victoria realized she might have gone too far, but pride wouldn't let her back down. You know what I mean, young people who live beyond their means, who want the luxury lifestyle but can't afford it, who think they can walk into any store and be treated like they matter when they clearly don't have the money to back it up. The store went completely silent. Elena nodded slowly. I see, so you believe that people without money don't deserve respect. I believe, Victoria said coldly, that luxury stores are for luxury clients, and you are not a luxury client. Now please leave before I call security. Elena smiled, but it wasn't a friendly smile. Actually, let me save you the trouble. She pulled out her phone again and made a call. Hi, James, it's Elena. I'm at the Madison Avenue property, Unit 2 Billion, Elegance Boutique. I need you here immediately with the lease documents. Yes, now, thank you. Victoria's confidence wavered for the first time. What are you doing? You'll see, Elena said calmly. 5 minutes later, the boutique door opened. A man in a business suit walked in carrying a leather briefcase. This was James Morrison, head attorney for Thornwood Luxury Group. Miss Thornwood, he said, nodding to Elena professionally. Victoria's face went white. Thornwood, Elena turned to face Victoria directly. Let me introduce myself properly. My name is Elena Thornwood. My family owns Thornwood Luxury Group. We own this building. We own your lease. And we own the right to terminate any tenant who violates the terms of their agreement. Victoria stammered. I didn't know. I didn't recognize. Of course you didn't, Elena said. Because I was dressed casually, because I looked like someone you thought you could disrespect. That's exactly why I dress this way when I visit our properties. To see how our tenants treat ordinary people. James opened his briefcase and pulled out documents. Miss Chen, your lease agreement includes Section 8, Clause 3. Lessee agrees to maintain exceptional customer service standards and treat all visitors with dignity and respect, regardless of appearance or perceived socioeconomic status. He looked up at Victoria. You violated that clause. Multiple times, apparently. We have 3 formal complaints from the past month alone, and now Miss Thornwood has witnessed your behavior firsthand. Victoria's hands were shaking. Please, I didn't mean. If I had known who you were. That's exactly the problem, Elena interrupted. You would have treated me well if you knew I was rich and powerful, but you treated me terribly when you thought I was ordinary. That reveals your character, Miss Chen. Mrs. Patterson, the customer in the fur coat, spoke up. Young lady, I saw everything. This woman was incredibly rude to you. She made assumptions based purely on your clothing. It was shameful. Mr. Patterson nodded. We'll be happy to provide statements if needed. What she did was wrong. Victoria spun toward them desperately. Please, Mrs. Patterson, Mr. Patterson, your valued clients. We were, Mrs. Patterson said coldly. But I won't shop at a store that treats people this way. Good day. The couple walked out, leaving Victoria looking devastated. Elena continued, her voice firm but not cruel. Miss Chen, I've visited hundreds of stores. I've seen wonderful managers who treat everyone beautifully. Homeless people, teenagers, elderly shoppers, everyone. Those managers understand that luxury isn't about exclusion. It's about making people feel special. She paused. You've done the opposite. You've used luxury as a weapon to make people feel small. That's not what we stand for. James pulled out another document. Miss Chen, Thornwood Luxury Group is hereby terminating your lease effective immediately based on breach of contract Section 8, Clause 3. You have 30 days to vacate the premises. Victoria's legs seemed to give out. She grabbed the counter for support. No, please, this store is my life. I've invested everything, my savings, my reputation. Please don't do this. For a moment, Elena felt a pang of sympathy. But then she remembered the 3 other customers who had complained, the ones who left feeling humiliated, the ones who didn't have the power to fight back. I'm sorry, Elena said, but actions have consequences. You didn't treat me badly because you were having a bad day. You treated me badly because you genuinely believe that some people are worth more than others based on how they look. That belief is incompatible with our values. Victoria tried one more time. What if I apologize? What if I change? I can take customer service training. I can do better, please. Elena shook her head. If I give you another chance, you'll treat me well because you're afraid of losing your lease. But you'll continue to treat others badly when you think no one important is watching. That's not real change. That's just fear. James handed Victoria the termination notice. You'll receive full details by certified mail. Again, you have 30 days. Elena turned to leave, then stopped at the door. Miss Chen, I hope you learned something from this. Respect isn't something you give to people based on what they can do for you. It's something you give because it's right. Everyone deserves dignity, the billionaire and the person in jeans. She walked out, leaving Victoria standing alone in her boutique, crying. The news spread quickly through the luxury retail community. Store owner loses lease after insulting billionaire heiress. But Elena made sure the media got the full story, not just that she was insulted, but that other customers had been mistreated too. Victoria Chen tried to sue Thornwood Luxury Group for wrongful termination. Her lawsuit was dismissed immediately. The judge ruled that the lease violation was clear and justified. Victoria had to close Elegance boutique. She lost her investment, over $400,000 in inventory, renovations, and initial setup costs. Other luxury property owners heard about the incident. No one wanted to lease space to someone with a reputation for treating customers badly. Within 6 months, Victoria was working as a sales associate at a department store. Not managing, not owning, just surviving. Elena gave one interview to a fashion industry magazine. The reporter asked if she felt guilty about destroying Victoria's business. I feel sad about what happened, Elena said, but not guilty. Victoria had multiple chances to treat people well. She chose not to. The 3 other complaints we received, those were from a single mother in workout clothes, a college student, and a retired teacher. Each one left feeling humiliated. What if Victoria had apologized immediately? The reporter asked. If she had recognized her mistake the moment I challenged her, we would have had a different conversation, Elena admitted. But she didn't apologize. She doubled down. She tried to remove me from the store. She made it clear that her behavior wasn't an accident, it was her philosophy. The interview was widely shared. Business schools started using the case study in ethics classes. The cost of arrogance, when customer service violations end your business. The space where Elegance boutique once stood didn't stay empty long. Elena personally selected a new tenant, Marcus Williams, a young black designer who had been trying to break into the luxury market for years. Marcus had a beautiful vision and incredible designs, but had been rejected by property owners who didn't think he fit with the luxury neighborhood. Elena gave him the space at the same discounted rate Victoria had received. Marcus reminded me why I do this work, Elena said at the store's opening. He treats every customer like royalty, whether they buy a $10,000 gown or just want to look at his sketches. That's what luxury should be, inclusive excellence. Marcus's store became one of the most successful boutiques on Madison Avenue. He followed a simple rule: respect everyone. 2 years later, Victoria reached out to Elena through LinkedIn. She sent a long message. "Miss Thornwood, I know I don't deserve your time or attention, but I wanted you to know that losing my store was the best thing that ever happened to me. It forced me to look at who I had become. I've spent the past 2 years in therapy working on my issues with class, money, and worth. I volunteer now at a nonprofit that helps low-income families access professional clothing for job interviews. I've learned that everyone, regardless of income, deserves dignity. I don't expect forgiveness. I just wanted you to know that your decision to hold me accountable changed my life. Thank you." Elena responded simply. "Thank you for sharing this. I'm glad you've grown. That's all any of us can do, learn, and become better." She didn't offer Victoria another chance in the luxury retail world. Some consequences are permanent. But she appreciated that Victoria had done the inner work. Elena's story became a powerful reminder in the business world. She spoke at conferences and business schools, always emphasizing the same points. How you treat people when they can't benefit you shows your true character. Victoria treated me terribly because she thought I was powerless. That's who she really was, but here's the deeper lesson. Even if I hadn't been an heiress, her behavior would have been wrong. That single mother who complained, she deserved respect. That college student, she deserved respect. They might not have had the power to fight back, but their dignity mattered just as much as mine. I had the privilege and power to hold Victoria accountable, but we should all hold ourselves accountable for how we treat others every single day. The story resonated especially with older viewers who remembered times when they were judged unfairly. They shared their own experiences. "I was a young nurse in scrubs, and a car salesman refused to help me. Turns out my father was the dealership owner. I dressed casually while house hunting, and a realtor told me I couldn't afford the neighborhood. I bought 3 properties there. A restaurant hostess seated me near the bathroom because of my wheelchair. I owned the building." These stories all shared the same theme: appearances deceive, character reveals. The universal truth. Elena's final words in her interview became a quote shared millions of times. "We live in a world obsessed with appearances, the right clothes, the right car, the right address. But none of that matters if you lack the right character. Respect, kindness, and humility cost nothing, yet they're worth more than all the luxury goods in the world." Victoria chose arrogance. She chose assumptions. She chose to make people feel small, and she paid the ultimate professional price. Don't be like Victoria. Be the person who treats the janitor with the same respect as the CEO. Be the person who sees human beings, not economic categories. Be the person whose character shines regardless of who's watching. If this story taught you something valuable or reminded you to treat everyone with respect, hit that like button and subscribe to our channel right now. We share real stories about justice, karma, and the power of human dignity. Drop a comment. Have you ever been judged by your appearance? How did you handle it? Don't forget that notification bell so you never miss when someone learns that respect isn't optional, it's essential. Thanks for watching, and remember, never judge a book by its cover, because that book might just own the entire library. See you in the next story.